Hello, everybody. This is Swati live from Los Angeles. It's August 21st, 7 a.m. in the morning. As you can see, I'm not in my usual place. I'm visiting a friend, a lovely person who also had been part of my mindfulness meditation group for several years. I'm very happy to be talking to you guys from this place. Each place has its own character and own associations. Having said that, I think it is time for us to spend 1 or 2 days doing some special meditations. These meditations are, they include certain imagery. Now, today's meditation is going to be about when you are particularly in need for a refuge or in need for becoming a little bit more harmonious with whatever is going on. The meditation that I'm going to do with you today is very useful for that. I find it to be a really beautiful meditation. I want to summarize what we have done so far. As you know, there are two types of activities. One is mindfulness activities, daily life activities where you can add mindfulness to prime your brain to enrich your activities, enrich your life. Then there are mindfulness meditations, more formal practice of sitting and quieting your mind and paying attention in a non-judgmental and observing mode. There are typical mindfulness meditations are the ones that we have done are breath awareness, a basic mindfulness meditation. Then there is the body awareness, and in the future, after a few more days, we will be doing feelings and thoughts awareness. So these are, strictly speaking, mindful awareness meditations. Body, breath, feelings and thoughts. Then we also did loving kindness meditations and gratitude meditations. These meditations go hand in hand with the strict mindfulness meditation practice. When you have mindfulness meditation practice, you are really making your brain, or you're training your brain to observe and to be very aware. Now you use that practice to actually generate feelings, positive feelings such as loving kindness, compassion, and gratitude. These feelings are about goodness in life, dealing with difficult feelings, with things in life, but by using joyful, more positive feelings. These practices really increase our happiness more directly. Mindfulness meditations, the strict ones, and these ones go hand in hand. They balance each other. Because when you're talking about getting in touch with compassion, you also need the ability to observe. So you don't get compassion fatigue, or you don't get bogged down by feeling all the compassion. And in the same way, when you're doing mindfulness and practicing mindfulness, as I said, it's a practice of non-attachment. But you don't want to get so far away or removed from feelings that you don't feel, you don't have the proper empathy. And for that purpose, loving kindness meditations, gratitude meditations complement mindfulness meditation training. Now, having said that, today, I would like to talk about Jack Cornfield, a wonderful, wonderful person above all, and most celebrated author of books, and the person who one can say is one of the key people who brought Buddhism to the West. But for us, the most important thing is not just any part of Buddhism. What he brought was Vipassana, which is mindfulness meditation, or also called insight meditation. Jack Cornfield, along with Joseph Goldstein and Sharon Salzberg, started or co-founded IMS, Insight Meditation Society in Massachusetts, Barre, Massachusetts. Then he also has co-founded a center called Spirit Rock, which is in Northern California. They offer a lot of retreats and mindfulness trainings. If at any time, if you get a chance to visit Spirit Rock and do one of their retreats, please do so. Jack was trained long time ago in Thailand, Burma, and India as a monk. In fact, what happened was he was trained in the Thai very rigorous, very traditional, what's called forest refuge, where you live in the forest, and he learned under really very well-known teachers. When he came back to the US, he used to still wear his robes. Can you imagine being in New York, in Manhattan, going to offices in his robes? This was in the 70s. So he used to get a lot of stares and glares. And finally, he decided to disrobe. And although he has retained all the qualities and all his teaching, he now looks like an ordinary person. One book that he has written, which I think for those who really want to get into this tradition, I would suggest this book. I'll share the screen with you guys. The book is called Wise Heart. I hope you can see it. Wise Heart, a guide to mindfulness teaching, or it says the guide to Buddhist psychology. It says guide to Buddhist psychology, universal teaching. So those of you who are interested in knowing the tradition that is underlying mindfulness meditation, you can read that book. But again, as I said, it's not necessary. But there is also a book he has written called Mindfulness for Beginners. If you really want to learn about Jack's work, you will have to know about loving kindness, compassion, as well as self-compassion, because he is not only about non-attachment, but Jack also has brought from his heart. His teachings are from his heart. If you go to any of his talks or lectures, you will find him telling all these beautiful stories from his own experience, as well as the stories that he has collected about why to practice mindfulness, why to practice loving kindness, compassion, and what beautiful things he has encountered. There is a comment here. Let me check this comment out. Rohit says that LKC meditation isn't as good as gratitude meditation. That is the other thing. Some people respond to certain traditions, certain styles of meditations or certain teachings more than others. Rohit, the intention of loving kindness, compassion meditation is different, and gratitude meditation is different. Being grateful is one type of one ways in which you can increase your joy, but loving kindness compassion is not only about increasing your blissful or joyful feelings, but it is also about extending yourself to others, and hopefully it will reflect into helping others. So that's the reason for loving kindness compassion meditation. But you are right, in the beginning especially, a lot of people do have questions about loving kindness compassion meditations. So I would suggest, let this idea of loving kindness compassion float in your mind from time to time. If you don't enjoy those meditations, that's okay, but let this idea of compassion float in your mind. That in itself makes a difference. The way you, as I said, the main thing is increased satisfaction in interpersonal relationships, because you need compassion in order to have a good relationship with anybody. You need to look at the things from a different perspective in order to improve. It doesn't matter, it could be your friends, parents, partner, whoever it is. So having said that, I'm going to get rid of the bottom and let's do a meditation. I'm sorry, my computer is a little unstable. When you are together for 6 weeks, you cannot be the same, everything the same for 6 weeks, right? That will be too mechanical. I think it's good that the computer is shaking a little bit so we get to experience real life. Okay. So now, close your eyes And I don't have my gong with me today, but I will just instruct you to start the meditation when the time comes. So right now, close your eyes, keep your spinal cord straight. Take a few deep breaths. And now let's start meditating. Pay attention to the breath for some time. Bring yourself here and now by paying attention to how your body is receiving the breath. Everything else is outside this door. At this point, it's just you sitting here with your body and breath, being mindful, gradually allowing your body and mind to become quiet, and just observing what is going on with our body and And now, in front of your mind's eyes, look at a room where you find some peace exists, some peace and harmonious feelings exist. It could be a room in your house, or it could be a room in any retreat center, any meditation room, or it could be a room in one of your places of prayers if you are religious, or it could be a room totally from your imagination, how you imagine a room would be, what kind of light it would hold, what kind of furniture it would hold. What's on the wall? What's the smell in this room? Are there windows? And if yes, what do you see outside the windows? So you're sitting by yourself in this room, and just allow your body to experience as if you're sitting in this room. You're sitting in this room and looking around outside the window as well as inside the room. What time of the day is it for you in this room? And now you hear a knock on the door. And when you open the door, there's someone outside the door who you find to be a figure bringing peace and harmony to your life. Somebody who you believe in. It could be a personal friend, it could be one of your parents, or it could be someone who you don't know personally, a figure from the history, someone who you have only read about or who you know about from the history, but you have trust in this person's teachings, that it brings peace and harmony to you. So it could be a person who's live or a person who's not live. So think about any such figure. And when you open the door, you see them standing in front of your own eyes. And then you bring them in, and they sit in the room that you were just in. And you sit in front of them. And experience the presence of this person. You're not necessarily talking to each other, but experience this person's presence and this person's attention on you and the connection you feel as you're sitting in front of them. Now you're going to allow yourself to pay attention to how it feels to be in the presence of this person. If your mind is wandering around, bring it back to sitting in front of this person and experiencing the feelings, how it feels like to be in the presence of this person and what it brings to you and your body. How does your heart feel in the presence of this person? How does your tummy feel like as you're sitting in this room, peaceful room, in front of this person who you believe in? A wise person whose wisdom speaks to you. Bring your mind back and notice how your head feels as you're sitting in front of this person. As a source of either peace of harmony or joy, peace, a wisdom, a wise person, in the presence of such a person, how does your body feel as you're faced with wisdom, peace, and harmony? How do you feel? Pay attention to that feeling in your body. Now, in case any other feeling comes to your mind or thought comes to your mind that interrupts your feeling of peace, harmony, and wisdom, that's okay. Just notice that thought and come back to experiencing the peace and harmony. The interruption of thoughts or contradictory thoughts may come to some minds. We are not going to ignore them or suppress them. We are going to pay attention to them. That's what it is right now. This is what I think right now. And then come back to this room, sitting in front of the wise person, and see what they can bring to you. And now it's time for this person to leave the room again. And you can let them leave the room, and you are sitting here and bringing your attention back to your breath again. Breathing in and breathing out. And see how your breath is received by your body. See if there is any difference the first time when you paid attention to the breath versus now, if there is any difference. And say this line to yourself 3 times. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. And now we are going to stop meditating and open your eyes slowly at first and then all the way. And before I look at the comment here, I would like to mention that Jack has been again very kind and he has given me one of his meditations for my app. So those of you who already haven't downloaded the app, please download it to meditate. Number 2, meditate, a free app available in app stores on Android as well as iOS. And if you go to the list of meditations, you will see Jack Confield's meditation. It's called Big Bell Meditation with different sounds of bells. It's a really pretty meditation that makes you feel spiritual feelings, gets you, allows you to be in touch with something out of the ordinary from your regular life. So I would urge you to look at that meditation. Now the comment is by Lou. I find it hard to focus this time and even hard to find a person. So many people appear in my mind and my mind wanders a lot. I don't know what feeling do you have when you are doing this meditation. Um, okay, again, as I said earlier, Lou, whatever is happening to you, notice that. And you did, how you are not able to think about one person, how you are able to, like have pictures of a lot of people in your mind, how it is hard to focus. Just notice that. Each time you do a meditation, the experience could be different. Law of impermanence. I would suggest before you start meditating, if you want to try this meditation again, think about a person beforehand. Or when you are, let's say, reading something or thinking about something, you may think this person really is wise, or this person has given me experiences that are more peaceful and harmonious. When you notice somebody like that in your regular life, keep that in mind. And then when you do this meditation, use that person in the as part of the meditation. Today I ask you to think about the person on the spot. So it is normal. What you said is normal. Our mind will jump from one person to another. But try to think about a person before you start meditating and allow yourself to see what they bring to you. It is to train your body or to know that the peace and harmony, you can feel it in your body. The wisdom can come to you. In the presence of some people, you feel differently. And it is to pay attention to that and to internalize that. That's the purpose of this meditation. And with that, I need to say bye to you. We have run out of time, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much.